Hello, my friend. Welcome to your sleep story. My name is Stephen Dalton. I'm an Irish storyteller, and it's my great privilege to be the voice that you listen to as you go to sleep tonight. Recently, one of you commented that you'd love to hear about people doing old trades, and it was something I'd been thinking about myself. So, I decided to write a story about a candlestick maker. She's an old lady who lives in a village, in a land far away, in a time long forgotten. And if you'd like to hear about other old trades, let me know in the comments. If you want the video to end at a particular point, YouTube allows you to set a timer in the settings. And don't forget to disable autoplay to avoid ads from upcoming videos. Okay, let's do the relaxation session now, which will take a few minutes before tonight's sleep story. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And as I do, allow yourself to let go more and more. 10. Feel the support of the bed beneath you, or the ground, or whatever you might be lying on. And beneath that, feel the constantness of the support of the earth. Feel the solidity, the peace that is offered by the earth. See if that feeling of support can allow you to let go a little more now. 9. Feel into your body. Where do you feel tension tonight? Where are you still holding? Maybe in your feet, in your hands, maybe your face, maybe your belly. Just let it go now. Your body has worked hard for you today. Allow it to rest. 8. You are safe. You are okay. Soften into that feeling of safety now. Allow my voice to be an anchor of safety, to be safe in the knowledge that my voice will only ever take you to places of safety. 7. Know that peace lives within you. It is your constant friend. It is always within you, just waiting to be seen. It just takes a little bit of searching, a little bit of softening, a little bit of letting go. to witness that peace, to feel that peace within you. See if you can start to find it now. 6. The day is done. Whatever has been, has been. Whatever will be, will be. Whatever thoughts you have about the day that just was, just acknowledge them. Don't fight them. And just see them like passing clouds in a starry sky. And let them pass away now. And find yourself more in this moment. And whatever thoughts you might have about the future, you can't act on them now. So just let them float away too. 5. This is your moment. This is your time. You deserve rest. You deserve peace. Allow that fact to bring about more letting go now. We all deserve rest. And you deserve it as much as anyone else. 4. Perhaps allow a little gratitude now for the ability to have this moment, to have the opportunity of rest. You are fortunate, so enjoy that fact. Settle in to the coziness of this moment. Really indulge now and enjoy this moment that you are blessed with. 3. Begin to engage with your imagination now. Begin to see a little village in a time long ago. And begin to see a little house on a little hill. In the evening time. 2. Check in with your body one more time now. Soften anywhere you might be holding. and let go of any tension. One. Completely letting go now. As I tell you tonight's sleep story. Imagine, if you will, a world free from electricity. A world where once the sun goes down, the true color of the night can be seen. Imagine a world where your only source of light at night is, in fact, candlelight. Imagine then how precious candles are in this world. And now, if you'll indulge me, let us visit that world. We find ourselves tonight in a land far away, in a little village, in a time long forgotten, where there lives a very skilled and wise old woman. Not only is she wise and skilled, but she brings light into the lives of those who seek it from her. For she is a candlestick maker, a provider of light, and a precious being in this world of no electricity. She lives in a cozy little house atop a little hill, where her house is nearly always dimly lit by candles, so she can be seen when people are looking for her in the darkness of the night. She is known to all as Granny Violet, and she practices her craft with a blend of artistry, ritual, and technical skill. Her little house serves as both her home and workshop, and within these walls she transforms simple materials into sources of light and warmth. She is from a long line of candlestick makers, so many generations that she doesn't know how far back it goes. Back to ancient times, she suspects. Maybe, she often thinks, that one of her ancestors was responsible for the first ever candle. Who knows? Either way, the craft that she has learned is a valuable piece of human information that has traveled from mouth to ear and hand to eye over many, many millennia, Granny Violet likes to work at night, and the process begins with the careful melting of beeswax, which she gets from local beekeepers, many of them her old and good friends, who share her appreciation for nature's gifts. The wax, golden and fragrant, is melted in a large, battered copper pot that has been with Granny Violet for as long as she can remember. It was her mother's, and her mother's before that, and her mother's before that. As the wax gently liquefies over the fire, it fills the room with a honeyed scent, a natural perfume that brings about memories of summer meadows and blooming flowers, which are nice to think about as it gets colder outside. Granny Violet then prepares her wick, cutting lengths of sturdy cotton thread, each piece destined to become the heart of a candle. She then dips the wicks into the molten wax, coating them thoroughly, then lifts them out to cool. This process is repeated many times, each dip adding another layer to the wick, building it up gradually, patiently, until it becomes the desired thickness. On a nearby table lies an array of molds, each one a different shape and size. Some are simple cylinders, others are more ornate, reflecting the customs and celebrations of the village. Granny Violet carefully pours the hot wax into these molds, her hands steady and sure. Her hands have seen many years, so many years she can't remember how many they are. But they are beautiful. They are hands that have worked hard, that have made many people happy, that have brought light and a sense of peace into the lives of so many. And as she sits in the candlelight herself, watching her work, she thinks of how calming the light of a candle is. She has always thought that because fire is a natural element, it calms us as a tree might. It is, in a way, bringing nature into our home, in a safe way, of course. As the candles cool and solidify, Granny Violet tidies her workspace, her mind already on the next batch, the next set of wicks and molds. Her work is never done, but she has learned to be in the moment, to breathe into each moment, and she feels great peace as she conducts her meditative work. Now the stars shine above the village, and a soft glow descends, and the first visitor of the night approaches Granny Violet's candle-lit haven. She is used to visitors in the evening. In fact, it's her favorite time to welcome people. The visitor is a young woman named Clara, a seamstress known for her delicate handiwork. In fact, there are many skilled people in this village. Clara reaches the candle maker's door and gently knocks. The sound echoes softly in the quiet of the evening. Granny Violet recognizes the knock and calls out a warm invitation to enter. In this time, in this land, no one worries about locking doors, and everyone feels safe all of the time. Clara steps into the cozy workshop, and as soon as she does, she's enveloped in the comforting scent of beeswax and the gentle light of dozens of candles. Granny Violet greets Clara with a tender smile. Her kind and wise eyes crinkling at the corners What brings you up the hill this evening, my dear? Granny Violet inquires, her voice as soothing as the flickering light around them. Clara hands Granny Violet a small hand-sewn pouch, and in it a spool of finely spun thread, a gift for all that Granny Violet does. I thought you might find this useful, she says. The thread glimmers slightly in the candlelight, its quality evident, even in the dim room. Granny Violet's eyes light up with appreciation. Small gifts mean a lot in this place. This is perfect, Clara. Thank you, she says, her hands already examining the thread, feeling its strength and texture. Your kindness brings more light to this old heart of mine than any candle ever could. Clara then sits and watches Granny Violet work, and she asks about the art of candle making. The old woman, happy to share her knowledge, begins to explain the nuances of her craft. She speaks of the importance of the right wick, the temperature for melting the wax, and the patience required in the cooling process. Clara listens intently, her eyes reflecting the dance of candlelight, absorbing every word. Then, Granny Violet starts sharing tales of the village. She tells her about how she learnt the art of candle making from her grandmother, and Clara, in turn, speaks of the latest happenings in the village, the small joys and challenges of daily life. This is a world of simplicity, where conversation is deeply felt, deeply appreciated, where there are far less distractions, and where people really engage, and where they understand how important their community is. As the night deepens, Clara prepares to leave, her heart and mind enriched by Granny Violet's wisdom and warmth. Your candles light up so many dark nights, just as your words light up my soul, Clara says, her words sincere and heartfelt. Granny Violet simply smiles, a gentle, knowing smile that speaks of years spent in the service of her community. Clara steps out into the night. The newly acquired candles that she just got, wrapped carefully in her pouch. As she descends the hill, the glow from Granny Violet's workshop remains a steady beacon behind her, a symbol of the enduring light and warmth that the candlestick maker brings to these dark nights. The following evening, as dusk falls, Granny Violet is completing another batch of candles. The last of the wax is set. The wicks are trimmed to perfection, and she cleans her tools with a sense of contentment. Each candle standing as a testament to her dedication and skill. As she arranges the finished candles on a shelf, there's a gentle knock at the door. Granny Violet, recognizing the pattern of the knock, calls out with a warm tone, "Come in, my old friend." The door creaks open, and in steps a kind old man named Mr. Hawthorne, the village's retired carpenter. His face is lined with the years of a life well lived, and his eyes twinkle with the mirth of unspoken tales. "Good evening, Violet," Mr. Hawthorne greets, his voice rich with the familiarity of decades of friendship. He holds a small bundle of wood in his arms, expertly carved scraps from his latest project. "Thought you might find some use for these in your fires," he says, placing the bundle gently on the table. As they settle into comfortable chairs by the fireplace, the room, as always, is filled with the soft, crackling sound of burning wood and the gentle light of candles. They reminisce about days gone by, about the changes they've witnessed in the village, and the simple joys of their youth. Granny Violet listens and also shares her own memories, their conversation meandering through topics like two old friends strolling down a well-trodden path. They talk about the villagers they've helped, the hardships they've endured, and the celebrations they've witnessed. Mr. Hawthorne's eyes reflect the warm light of the candles, and he enjoys this company, the company of his old friend. A smile playing on his lips as Granny Violet begins to recount a heartwarming story from her past. Do you remember that midsummer festival some years back? The whole village was alive with preparations, but as luck would have it, a series of mishaps left us without any lanterns or lights for the evening celebration. Mr. Hawthorne chuckles, remembering the event. Yes, I recall that day. The entire village was in a tizzy, he adds. Granny Violet continues. Everyone was so disheartened, thinking we'd have to cancel the festivities. But then, I had an idea. Her face lights up as she describes how she gathered all the candles she had in her shop, along with some ribbons and flowers and anything else she could find to decorate them. I worked through the afternoon, adorning each candle with a bit of ribbon or a sprig of lavender. Children from the village came to help, turning it into a merry occasion. We all worked together, laughing and sharing stories. Each candle became its own little piece of art. As dusk fell, the candles were placed all around the village square, and when we lit them, it was as if we'd summoned the spirit of the festival itself. The square was bathed soft, enchanting glow. The light flickering off the faces of the villagers, turning an ordinary moment into something magical. Mr. Hawthorne nods in agreement. It turned out to be one of the most memorable festivals we've ever had. Your candles didn't just light up the square, they lit up our hearts. Granny Violet smiles, her eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight. Sometimes the simplest things can bring the greatest joy, she muses. The two old friends sit in comfortable silence, basking in the warmth of shared memories. The night deepens outside, but inside Granny Elspeth's workshop, the light of candles and the warmth of friendship keep the darkness at bay. And soon enough, they are both tired, and Mr. Hawthorne bids Granny Violet good night. The next night, as Granny Violet finishes her work for another day, Lily, with a gentle demeanor but weary eyes, has come to seek from Granny Violet not just candles, but the warmth of wisdom and the comfort that Granny Violet is known to provide. Upon her arrival, Granny Violet welcomes Lily with open arms, sensing her need for solace. They sit together in the cozy room, and Lily shares her troubles. Granny Violet listens intently, her expression kind and understanding. And after Lily finishes talking, the old candle maker shares words of comfort. Dear child, life, like candlelight, flickers and changes, but it always burns brightest when we tend to it with love and hope. remember, even the smallest flame can defy the darkness. Your strength and light are within you, even in times of doubt. As the two women sit and talk, the room filled with a sense of tranquility. The worries of the world melt away, like wax on a candle. Lily begins to feel a peace she hasn't known in a long time, and she begins to find her eyelids growing heavy. In the safe embrace of Granny Violet's workshop, she allows herself to drift off into a restful sleep, comforted by the knowledge that there is light even in the darkest times. Granny Violet puts a blanket on Lily and cares for her as she sleeps. The candles cast a protective glow around her. The old woman knew that each person who came to her left with a little more light in their hearts than when they had arrived. And as she gazed at the sleeping Lily, she reflected on the simple yet profound truth of her life's work, that the act of giving, whether it be light, wisdom, or comfort, was a powerful force capable of transforming lives. The story of Granny Violet, the candlestick maker, teaches us something about the importance of kindness, about the value of sharing wisdom, and about the power of small acts to illuminate the darkness. In her little workshop atop the hill, Granny Violet created more than just candles. She created a haven of light and solace. A reminder that in a world that hadn't even discovered electricity, the human spirit could shine brighter than anything. And so, the tale of the candlestick maker comes to a close, with the flickering flames of her candles casting a gentle light that reaches far beyond the walls of her workshop, touching the lives of many and leaving a legacy of light that endures in the hearts of all who found refuge in her glowing haven.